Let's say the Tour de France is the most demanding endurance event, and hitting a baseball is the hardest single task in sport. If so, then the job facing athletes on the Professional Bull Riders Tour, just staying on one of these frenzied beasts, has got to be the most insane 8 seconds, well, pretty much this side of an electric chair. But it's the rides that don't last 8 seconds that can really be scary.
You sure you're not hurting anywhere?
No.
Can you wiggle your toes for me?
That's the voice of Dr. Tandy Freeman, an orthopedic surgeon who's been the director of medical services for the Professional Bull Riders for several years.
In bull riding, it's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's a matter of when and how bad it is when it happens. That's a little sore when you get there.
Given that his career has included stints as a team physician in professional hockey and for the NBA's Dallas Mavericks,
Yeah, it's sore right there.
Freeman knows from brutal athletic injury.
Things, when they get extreme here, they get really extreme. And fortunately, the extreme stuff's not typical because we've had an athlete die. We've had a couple of athletes sustain cervical spine injuries that resulted in quadriplegia.
On Sunday in the Mohegan Sun Arena, the final competition in the 3-day PBR event, one of the worst injuries was a concussion suffered by Ben Jones. Though knocked momentarily unconscious, he was able to walk away.
Just sit down here a while so you stop that feeling that things are moving around.
Dr. Freeman took us behind the scenes Sunday to the PBR's mobile sports medicine office, where he's assisted by Dr. Anthony Alessi, a local neurologist.
With bull riding, I always make sure at the emergency room the trauma surgeon is aware that this is bull riding weekend and it may get busy.
Along with Freeman, the touring PBR medical staff includes full-time trainers Rich Blyn and Peter Wang. Blyn actually owns the sports medicine business and has developed a specialty in treating bull riders.
These guys are unique in the sense that the same tape job you put on a football player's thumb, you can't put on a bull rider's thumb. It doesn't work. They don't like it. It doesn't feel right. So we sort of designed our own tape job specific for these guys.
Bull riding is an incredibly focused discipline, and there are long stretches between rides and events punctuated with that brief burst of intensity. Maybe it's a realization that chronic injury or ongoing pain must only be managed for that precise duration of the ride that enables these cowboys to compete with injuries that would be considered career-threatening in other sports.
Every sport has athletes who are tougher than perhaps most of the guys in that sport.
Oh, I broke all of them before, yeah.
In bull riding, at this level, that degree of toughness is probably exaggerated compared to other sports. To work your way up to the top level of competition, it's not going to happen if you're a wimp.
They have a unique or high pain tolerance. So what you and I might need an aspirin for, they generally, a bag of ice is sufficient for them.
That's how we make a living. If we don't stay on our bulls, if we don't ride, then we don't make any money.
These guys don't have contracts, so they don't have a guaranteed income if they're not competing, or actually if they're not winning. And to win, you have to compete. So basically, to eat, you compete.
You do ride with a lot of pain and injuries, as well as, it goes with it, like we see here. It's just sore. Ain't nothing bad injury, but it's just sore. There's a lot of guys that ride with that every week.
You don't see very many guys who opt out of the event just because they're a little sore or whatever. It's got to be something where Tandy says, you know what, I don't think you should get on.
We do have a rule in place so that I can do that. Haven't had to use it, but a couple of times in the last year and a half. Does that hurt?
Dr. Freeman is the voice of reason. Sometimes the athletes don't want to hear what he's got to say.
Shoulder or elbow? Both. It's not my job to please them. It's my job to sort out what's wrong with them, educate them about the issues, allow them to make a decision for themselves, as long as the decision that they're making isn't stupid. And when it is, then it's my job to step in and prevent that from happening. Whoa, nice.
In the end, there's a curious relationship between pain and injury and competition and common sense, and the variables are dramatic.
So how long ago did you do this the first time?
Kevin McKeeman comes in after aggravating a knee injury he's been riding with for months. one the medical staff wasn't even aware of because he simply never brought it up.
Well, you got a complete tear of your ACL, the big ligament in the middle of the knee called the anterior cruciate ligament, and a complete tear of the MCL, the medial collateral ligament. That's this ligament over here. There's an element of what's called cowboy up. You're supposed to set your jaw and go to your job and do it and not complain about things. That's pretty impressive.
I'm cowboy.
McKeeman will ride, or not, until Freeman does an off-season surgical procedure that will require months of rehabilitation. The medical crew will pack up their road cases and traveling pharmacy and be ready for whatever the next 8 seconds might bring.